good afternoon, good morning, good night. Welcome back to the How Does This Work podcast. I am your host, Antoine Lance. Be sure to give me a follow on Twitter at the all caps _ Antoine Lance. That's ANTWANLANCE. It is a Friday morning. How's everybody doing? I hope your week was kind to you. I hope nobody did you wrong this week. This was week, who knows, of quarantine lifestyle, but I'm adjusting fairly well. Honestly, I think I could never go back to work again, and I'd be perfectly okay with that. Honestly, though, I'm kind of ready to go back to work, and also not ready to go back to work. Like, I enjoy being able to just kind of chill and take things at my own pace, but at the same time, I do miss, just being out, being with my coworkers. I do enjoy working with the people that I work with, but yeah, now it's not the time for that. And while I'm able to sustain myself and not work, I'm gonna lavish in it. And I hope that you all are also lavishing in not having to work. If you are out of work and you can't sustain yourself, though, prayers go out to you. I do hope that something changes for you in the future. I'm sure it will. Just you gotta stay prayerful. You gotta stay hopeful and prayerful, and just keep faith and believe that it's not gonna get worse. I think if once you allow yourself to be in a mindset of this is my life and it's not going to get any better, that's when you start running the risk of falling into the trap of hopelessness, which is never a good place. Nobody ever wants to be in that place. I've been there. I know lots of people who have been there. I think we've all been there before, and like it's a rough, tough spot to be in. But faith will always drag you out of that. And it might not be easy, and it might not come quick, and you'll just have to accept that, honestly. But do believe that at one point or another, it'll work out for you. It's gonna work out, and once you get out of that, once you get out of that tough spot, you'll be able to look back on that and be like, man, I was down, and now I'm not. I'm up right now. And always hold on to that, because victories don't last forever. There's always more battles. So if you do find yourself in a down moment, you got to look up and be like, at some point I'm gonna be out of this. And when you are up, be able to look back and be like, I was down then and I'm not right now, but that'll help you brace for your next down season. But today, in the spirit of being in a positive mindset, that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about being positive and staying positive, especially with we live in a dark world. It's a dark, cold world full of cold, dark people. And if I can bring you any sort of ray of positivity and hope, then I've accomplished what I set out to accomplish for today. But it's a very dark world. It's a very cold world. It's a very unforgiving world. And it's easy, I think, to get into a rut or into the mindset, like I said, of being down and thinking that you'll always be down. And there's I full throttle believe in the power of positivity. I truly believe that if you believe enough that good things are going to happen and that things will change, then at some point things have to change. We have that power for we can make things move and change for us. But you just have to you have to first be accepting of a few things. But it's a power of positivity. It's real. It's 100% real. As someone who at one point was definitely on the other side of the train tracks, I can wholeheartedly attest to being positive and keeping some sort of faith and keeping your head up at all times, it definitely pays dividends. Yeah, you'll never stay down. We weren't created to always be down. Sure, we're gonna have moments in life where, yeah, the cards are against us and things are going our way, but that's not forever. That's not what your life is. At some point, things will turn around, and you can make them turn around sooner than what the enemy may want. But like I said, you have to be accepting of a few things first. But yes, power of positivity is something that I believe we all should strive to maintain and uphold throughout life, because and I feel like I say this every episode, but it's not easy. Like I said, I think I said last episode, I don't think a lot of things in life are easy, and maintaining a positive outlook on things, especially, like I said, it's a dark, cold world. There's a lot of sick people out there. So maintaining some sort of positivity and, just a mind frame of, yeah, this is going to work out and be okay is definitely something that can be tough. But there are many reasons as to why you should keep a positive outlook on life or mentality. And like I said, a lot of those are just, you're not always going to be down. Your down season isn't going to last forever, because it never does. Life is it's a roller coaster. You have ups and downs, and when the highs are high, you got to enjoy that, and when the lows are low, you have to just find it in your mental. You got to find a way to be in that moment of a low, but also just realize that at some point you're going to come out of it, and you'll be better off at that point once you do come out of it, because if you do have to face that again, you'll already be prepared. You'll already know how to handle that situation, and it won't even be a thing where you find yourself in a similar situation and you can't handle it, unless you just don't learn from it the first time, which sadly that happens to a lot of people. But we here, we can help you grow through things. But in order to stay out of that dark place of hopelessness, you have to 100%, I believe, always try and keep a very positive mental outlook on your current situation and your current life. If with anything that you're doing in life, it's not gonna, unless you're a prodigy and things just come naturally to you, you're gonna have to work for it, and there's gonna be struggles. Having dreams is cool, but it costs money to make dreams come true. That's a fact of life. And if you are, let's say you're going after something that you want to do, whether it be you're chasing a dream or whatever, and you're working towards your dream, you kind of gotta you have to realize it's not always gonna be rainbows and unicorns. Like look at someone like Tom Brady. Guy's got 6 rings. I don't know. He's got a lot of rings. Tom Brady, a lot of Super Bowl rings. It wasn't always like Tom Brady hasn't always been Tom Brady. At one point, Tom Brady was a 7th round draft pick or a 6th round draft pick, whatever. Either way, he got picked really late in the draft, and he could have given up on his dream at that moment. Everyone said, "Yo, Tom's never gonna. He'll never." When he got drafted, no one thought Tom Brady then would be what Tom Brady is now. But you can't. You got to overlook that stuff. You have to keep your positive mentality and mindset, and be like, I hear what they're saying, but I'm not going to choose to pay that any attention, and I'm just going to keep focused and keep going after what I'm going after. Tom Brady's arguably the greatest quarterback of all time now, but it wasn't easy for Tom. He had to work to get there, and he had to maintain a positive outlook on things. Michael Jordan, there's always the story, Michael got cut from his high school basketball team or whatever, and I watched the Last Dance documentary and learned more about that. So that story isn't technically, it's not untrue. I mean, it's not like Michael Jordan was just the GOAT in high school and the coach cut him, but that's still an opportunity or a moment where you face some adversity and you can either fold under the pressure, or you can buck up and you can just keep going with it. You can keep focusing, keep practicing, strive to get better, and go back at it again. And that's what Michael Jordan did, and the rest is history. Some say he's the GOAT. I personally don't believe that. If you do want to know, if you want to know who I think the greatest basketball player of all time is, you can tweet me and I'll respond and we can get into a debate or whatever. But yeah, in order for these athletes to maintain that type of focus and positivity, you look at someone like Russell Wilson. A lot of people say that Russell is like kind of corny, and I don't know if I necessarily disagree with that. Russell can be a bit much, but Russell is so positive all the time. You look at some of the, like, you just look at Russell Wilson as a quarterback, and I think he's a great quarterback. I'd love to have Russell Wilson be the quarterback of my team. That'd be awesome. But you look at like his positivity on and off the field, whether and you can just look at that and say, oh yeah, that positive mentality plays a part in what makes him great. I think you look at all the greats of anything, I think keeping that positive mental state plays a part in what makes them great, and especially in sports. And I think specifically professional sports, that's a grimy world. The sports world can be very grimy. Like, it looks very glamorous to us, but I think what we as fans don't see on the other side can be very grimy, very dirty. And so to be in a spot like that for a prolonged period of time, and for the large part of his career always have some sort of success, I do think being able to stay positive and separate himself from all the negatives that can bring with it is definitely something that plays a part in his makeup as an athlete and as a person. So when I was like researching and figuring out how I wanted to go about this, I came across some research, and it is actually addictive to think negative thoughts. It can be very addictive, but that also means that thinking positive thoughts can be addictive. And I kept seeing examples like, oh, if you have a really crappy job working in a coffee shop, you'll find that the longer you stay at that job, you might actually come to hate coffee or hate even the smell of coffee. And it's not that your body actually doesn't like the smell of coffee. It's more so your brain, what your brain does when you experience either positive or negative things is your brain connects synapses that correlate with either pleasure, pain, whatever. And so if you work in a coffee shop and, for a long time and you hate that job, your brain is going to start connecting coffee and the smell of coffee and the sight of coffee beans with pain and, not pain. I hope you don't hate your coffee shop job to the point where your body aches. That's a new level of hate and dislike that I hope nobody ever has to deal with. But nevertheless, yeah, your brain will fire off or connect these different synapses that alert your body to things that you do and do not like. So it makes it harder at that point for you to think positively about, certain things. Like I said, coffee, for example. I worked in a parts store for a while. I don't necessarily hate parts stores, but I mean, I won't say I don't have a little like PTSD, because I'm not gonna do all that. But O'Reilly's was a great job, and I loved working there for the however many years that I worked there. If you working in O'Reilly's and you would like, maybe you want to go to one of the honchos and be like, yo, I think we should sponsor this podcast, go do that. I'd love you forever. But back on topic. Synapses in the brain firing, connecting, correlating displeasure or hatred and just negativity in general with whatever your experience is. And that can definitely be a thing that happens, and I don't think you would even notice it. So if you do find yourself in hard spots, you could theoretically just end up keeping yourself down for a prolonged period of time, and it wouldn't even be like you meant to do it. Almost you just kind of naturally grew to hate whatever that thing is, and like I said, you wouldn't even notice it. But that can also but think with things like that, I think you should also, and this is something I've kind of been noticing personally as of late, is, and it's probably something I should have noticed earlier in life, but again, seasons for everything. You need to be very aware of the things that you intake. And what I mean by that is, if you are intaking a lot of negativity, you tend to put, the saying goes, you get out of things what you put into them. So if you apply that to life and just your body and if you intake a lot of negativity, common sense should tell you you're probably going to end up putting out a lot of negative energy and a lot of just very nasty and unpositive thoughts. For me, it's been music lately. I've been trying to watch what I listen to and just limit, I love rap music, but some of it's a bit too much, and so I have to limit how much of that I take in, because I do think you can, and I've seen it with myself personally, it definitely has an effect on the type of energy that you put out towards people. And I'm not one to really, I don't like putting out aggressive energy towards people. And I think a lot of rap music can bring that out of me personally, I'll say. And some people might say that that's a stretch, but I really don't think it is. I think you 100% get out the things what you put into them, and intaking negativity, that's all. If all you have, if all you put into your body and into your mind is negativity, you would have no knowledge of what it means to be positive and try and put positivity out. And so I definitely think you gotta really, and I'm not saying don't listen to rap music. This is not me saying, oh, rap music bad. I'll never say that. It's my favorite type of music, but I'm just saying maybe watch how much of it you intake. And when you do intake it, watch, rap music can be excessive. It can be really excessive, and that's just not enjoyable to hear all the time. For me personally, I don't know how you operate, but for me, it's just not enjoyable all the time. And so I found myself at a place now where I do try and listen to other types of music. And even today, or when I recorded this, because this is gonna, you'll see this after I record it, obviously, but I tried listening to Christian rap music for the first time, and some of it was kind of weird. It wasn't really Christian rap music. I would more so consider it just clean rap music, but that's just me. I'm not the rap music guru or nothing. But some of it was, I would call it true Christian rap music, and I really enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I saved a couple of songs, but it's just all about intaking the right things. Everything is formulaic. So, if you need specific ingredients to produce a specific thing, you got to put the right ingredients in. For positivity, I don't think the right ingredients are, aggressiveness and negative energy. Those positives and negatives are opposites, obviously. So I just think, and it's not just music, it can be anything. If let's say you're in a relationship with someone, and it doesn't have to be a relationship. It can be a very platonic relationship, but if you know that person isn't, really the best person or you notice that that person does things and they rub you the wrong way, then you should probably limit that person's access to you, or limit, how much time you spend around that person, because that type of stuff can definitely wear on your psyche. You are 100% the company you keep. I've seen it in my life. My circle now is not even really a circle. I kind of don't have a circle, but I mean, I do have a circle, but I don't at the same time. It's a little weird, but the people that I choose to associate with on the regular are way, way, way more positive. It's just a better group of people for me to be hanging out with now, and that type of thing will seep into your life. Like, even if it's someone who you don't, see all the time or hang out with all the time, you'll just start to notice you'll do things differently when you're around those people, and even when you're not around those people, because their ways will start to rub off on you. And like I said, negative people's ways can rub off on you as well. I keep going back to when I worked at O'Reilly's, and like, I had fun. Like, it was fun working at O'Reilly's, but I wasn't really myself. I wasn't who I actually am while I was working there. And a lot of that was, I worked in a very negative environment, and that began to just flow all into other aspects of my life. And I ended up being a very pessimistic, negative person all the time. And that's not me. Like, I'm not pessimistic. I like to stay optimistic. I like to try and find hope in things. I like to try and find hope in people, but people are tough, man. People are tough. People, you have to put your hope in the right things, firstly. And as you go through life, you'll realize the less hope and faith that you put in people, and the more hope and faith that you put in God, one will let you down 70% of the time, and one will never let you down. It's as simple as that. But yeah, people will definitely let you down, and it'll probably hurt your feelings because your emotions, or whatever you want to call it. But when I started to hang around the right people and be around the right people and do different things, and honestly, when I left O'Reilly's, I mean, you guys can still sponsor the show, but like, when I left, I started being a lot more positive and having a lot more hope for things. There was even, I don't think I've talked about it like on the show yet, but I still struggle with it from time to time. Not nearly as bad now, but I definitely, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago, went through like a 6-month period of really intense depression, and it sucked butt, and it was a rough time. Like, I didn't really do anything. I wasn't a happy person. I wasn't fun to be around, I don't think. And I almost, at one point, I was like, man, this is trash. But if you maintain your hope and have a little bit of faith in the right things, it's amazing what kind of turnaround you can have. I think to this point today, I haven't really had to deal with too much of it lately. I've been in great spirits, and that's not to say I'll never have to deal with it again. If anyone listening is dealing with depression or anxiety, I'm sure like, you have good days, you have bad days. It's a fact of life. But I'm right now enjoying experiencing a time of really good days, and I'm so thankful for it. And going through all that, it was hard, but I still maintained I tried to maintain as much positivity and hope as I could. And I think, honestly, I held on just long enough. I think I had to go through that, so that down the road I could hopefully help someone else go through it. And like, I don't know if I have to this point yet, and I pray that I have. And if not, like, if you're listening and it helps, then I'm thankful. Like, thank God for that. But you'll just like, and it sounds so cliche and not helpful, honestly. But you have to just hold on hope. You gotta keep your faith. You gotta hold hope. You gotta stay positive, because it won't last forever. Those things will come and go, and I promise you, you will get through it at some point. I promise you that. And along the road, you're gonna make a lot of mistakes. And if you're anything like me, when you do make mistakes, you'll beat yourself up. And when you beat yourself up, you'll not want to do that thing. Like whatever you were doing when you made your mistake, you'll not want to do that again, because you're going to think negatively of it, because you're going to, like I said, your brain is going to connect negative thoughts and bad feelings with that mistake, and it's going to connect that mistake with that thing that you were doing, and from that point you're going to be super turned off from doing that thing. And it's an easy place to be in, like not wanting to do something that you wanted to do, and you have to fight that. You got to combat it. You like, I can't stress this enough, but you have to keep your positive outlook. If you struggle with keeping that positive outlook, and if no one's told you that it's going to get better, then I'm telling you, it's going to get better, and it's okay that you made that mistake. Don't even honestly look at it as a mistake. Just look at it as an opportunity for you to learn, and go back and do it again. And if you make another mistake, same thing. Just stay positive about it. Say, okay, yeah, I messed up, but now that I messed up, I can go back and I can say, all right, where did I mess up? How did I mess up? Oh, that's what I did. I won't do that again. Just, you have to look at you have to spin everything. You have to find the positive light in everything. And obviously in certain things, it's harder. It's way harder in certain aspects of life to keep that positive outlook. But you gotta start small. Start with something fairly simple for you. It's a personal thing, but just start with something small that you want to do better, and stay positive about it. Stay overly positive about it. And you can never be too positive about things. I don't believe that. I don't believe it's possible to be too positive about something. Or when you're if you're on the bad side of things, I don't think, I think people get annoyed by that, and I don't understand why. Like, why would you willingly choose to stay in your negative rut, or whatever you want to call it? Like, if you knew how much power you had in what you say, you can literally you can talk your way out of things. Like, obviously some people talk their way out of things in a negative aspect, but we'll get to them, and we'll flip them over to the right side. But you can, you have the power to speak your way out of things. You can make things move. You can break things up. And it's all a process. You'll get there. You'll get there one day. I know it. I know you will. I firmly believe it. You just have to stay positive about it. Stay prayerful about it. It won't last forever. Yeah. It has to get better at some point. And if you need to hear that, then I'm glad that I could be the one to tell you, like, hey, yeah, it'll get better. It's going to get better. It won't get better right now. It might not get better tomorrow. And even the day after that, it might still kind of suck. But you just stay positive. You speak positivity into situations. And I'd strongly suggest maybe, and I understand you might love people. People can be cool. If someone around you isn't speaking positivity around you and to you, you probably shouldn't really associate with that person, because you don't really need people in your life who aren't going to speak positivity to and through you. sometimes a simple, like, you can do it, that's a positive comment. And for a lot of people, they don't get that from their peers or family, and it sucks. Like, having people who are supposed to, like, believe in you and speak positivity and push you to things, not do that, can be really sucky. And I'm sorry that those people who are supposed to do those things aren't. There's 7 billion people on the planet. I'm sure you can replace one or two with some more positive people, but no, don't replace people. Honestly, try and sway the people around you into being more positive. Tell them to stop with so many of the I can'ts, or I don't and I can't, and all those other really negative phrases. Just get people to spin it. So always spin it into a positive. Find the silver lining, or just remember, you have a lot of power in the things you say and do. You might not know it, but you have a lot of power in the things you say and do. You definitely gotta be careful with what you say and do, and the type of things that you say and do to people. Death in life or in the power of the tongue. 100% believe that. You might not believe it. I challenge you, if you don't believe it, to try it. Because, if you've been doing it away and it's not working, what could it hurt to try it a different way, But yes, I hope that this will reach someone and give you it doesn't, you don't have to do it tomorrow. I just hope that you listen and you realize that the option is there. You realize that you don't have to think so negatively about it all the time. Yeah, you're allowed to switch it up and be like, you know what, I'm not going to think about this the way that I normally would. And I hope that you choose to do that, and I hope I know it will. I know it'll work out for you. It'll always work out for you. You got to be patient, because it might not work out in that moment, but eventually, you'll break through. Yeah, that's my Friday message for you guys. Stay positive. I hope that this reached you. I pray it reaches you. I hope you listen to it. I hope you love it. I hope it changes your mind. I hope you go change someone around you's mind, and I just hope that you guys have a much more positive outlook on life going forward. And if you want to join Team Positivity and tell me like, hey, I think like that helped, if you just want to ask me a question, if anything, you just want to tweet at me, go do that on Twitter at the all caps Antoine on the let's try this again, at Twitter on the all caps _ Antoine Lance. That's ANTWANLANCE. That's all I got for you guys. I hope you continue to listen and support. I love you guys for all the support. I'm super thankful for everyone that listens. I'm thankful for everyone who shares and downloads and all that good stuff. I hope you guys have a blessed weekend. Stay safe, be blessed. If no one's told you yet today, I love you,